Yeah. So this video is just to do a demo of a solution I just built recently. I know a lot of us have faced the challenge of having to deal with moving files between folders, most especially when you have a lot of files to move to a specific folder, and you would have really loved that instance where you could very easily handle both the copy paste or cut pastes in just one screen rather than toggling between windows. That it's a challenge I myself had faced, and I just thought of how do I solve this problem for myself and consequently other people who may be facing same. So, inspired by one of the tools I have on my Android phone, the Explore app, that gives you the dual panel Explorer where you could move files between folders on your phone. I decided to build something like that for the PC. And one of the key features I liked in the Explorer for the mobile device was the fact that it was easy for you to track what folders were consuming your memory, where the bulk of the files were. This helps you to better track what you need to do in terms of managing the space on your device. And I tried to, as much as possible, replicate that same functionality here. So if you can, as you can see from my screen, you can see all of the folders on the drive C which are listed here and the respective size of each of these folders, so you know exactly where your memory is being consumed. Can see users has about 252 gig. So you know the distribution and know where you need to move files from. You have the option to select whatsoever drive you want. If you have like a mobile phone connected, it will also show up in the options. It also has MTP support. So even if it's the mobile devices, you'd still be able to move files between them using the same system. However, when you're using an MTP device, you'll be required to go to the settings to enable the loading of the file size. This is because for MTP devices, it uses a different, I'll use the word protocol to um, get the size of a file, a folder rather, and that is by drilling through the entire directory tree to identify the size of each file and then accumulate that into the folder size. And that communication for MTP devices is much slower. So for that, you need to enable it in the settings for it to also load the sizes. But bear in mind, it's going to be much slower when you're doing so. Um, so I'll just take you through a walkthrough of what we have on the interface. In the File tab, you have the option to create a new folder, a new file. You have access to the settings, and then you can exit. The shortcuts are there as well. You have the option to copy, move, delete a file. You can select all with either these options or the shortcuts. You can always refresh what we have. You can toggle the theme, so you have the light theme, you have the dark mode, whichever you prefer. I think most programmers prefer the dark mode. Under the view option, you can also choose to show hidden files. Um, I've also added the preview pane, but this doesn't support fi- uh, binary files. So basically, it's text files, HTML, and the likes that it would support. But for other files, it will just show you the details of that particular file, right? So you can see the file name, the size, and the type. So you have that in the preview. So you can always enable or disable that preview pane either with Control P or from this option. Then under the tools, you can search the folders for specific um, criteria and then move those specific files into whatsoever choice folder you have. You can also create a zip archive of a number of files you have selected, or a file you selected, whichever I prefer. You can view the properties of any file. So you can see right now I have this file selected. If I click on properties, it will bring up the properties of that file. So you can see this file type, the location, the size, date modified, date created, all of that is available from the properties. Then under the help tab, you have a list of the keyboard shortcuts, so that you have an idea of how to walk around it. And you have the about, so just some details scribbled in there to guide you on what you can do with it. So some of these options I also made available via quick buttons, so you can easily just toggle between them. You have access to the settings tab, like I said. You can see I disabled the MTP for the calculate folder sizes for MTP devices, because it's much slower. You can also adjust the font size depending on what you're comfortable with. I know a lot of people, when it comes to working with devices, the font size may be too small or too big for them. You have the opportunity to adjust that. Then you can adjust whether you want to show hidden files, whether you want to confirm before deleting, confirm before overwriting, and likes. So just to give you a demo of how this actually works, you can see part of the things you get to see when you're using this Explorer is you get to see the all users folder. I'm quite sure most of us never knew there was such a folder existing on our systems. But for now, let me go to my ZBook folder. That's like my primary profile here. Um, let's just go to the videos thing. So videos, I can choose to copy. Let me use the copy for this one. So I have to confirm it, and just like that, the file is copied. You can choose to move. So see, it's moved the two files. You can move them back as well. You can choose to delete the file. So if you're deleting multiple files, then you can either use the yes or yes to all, so that you don't need to confirm for every file. Or if you prefer to confirm for every file, then just use yes. So that will do it for you. So we've deleted that file. We could create an archive from files. So you can see it brings up the dialog for you to specify the name. So let me just call this videos archive. So videos archive has been created. You can see the files are inside that folder, and you can always double click on any of the files here to open them up. That's one of the fun bits. It's your file explorer in its full capacity right here. So it makes it very easy for you to move files between folders. It makes it really convenient to do so. So I'd like your comments on what you think should be included, could be better, what you like the most amongst its features, and that will help me build something much better in the next phase.